Attention. Hull failure imminent. All personnel abandon ship.
Launch in 3, 2, 1. You have suffered minor head trauma. This is considered an optimal outcome. This PDA has now rebooted in emergency mode with one directive: to keep you alive on an alien world. Please refer to the data bank for detailed survival advice. Good luck. The Aurora suffered orbital hull failure. Cause unknown. 0 human life signs detected.
We crash landed on an alien planet. We were aware of the dangers. We all knew something like this could happen. We knew that the Dagashi was destroyed. But I thought I was gonna be amongst the lucky ones that don't have anything happen to them. I thought with the large hazard pay I'm gonna make enough money to settle down, to have a family. Well, that seems quite unlikely to happen now. I'm stranded at the edge of the world, the radio is broken. Even if they notice the silence and decide to investigate, 2 liters of water and a few nutrition blocks won't last long. I'm probably gonna die here on 4546b. The planet doesn't even have a proper name. This is my home now, the life pod. It's so tiny I can't even lie down properly to sleep. One hatch on the top and one at my feet, which goes straight into the water. A fabricator that is used to make things from raw materials. A storage box, this red thing, and a medical kit. Everything else in the pod is broken. I'll get to those later on. I have the scanner, can give info about life on the planet, and the survival knife that can cut things. I'm gonna try and do these logs in English, since it's the official language of the Altera Corporation, and I picked it up okay during my time with them. Some time ago, the Altera Corporation discovered substantial resources on planet 4546b, so they sent us a standard-issue industrial pre-mining ship to set up the basics. We were supposed to discover potential mining sites and, in a few months, set up bases for the crew of the upcoming ship specialized in large-scale excavation. However, an unidentified weapon fired at the approaching ship, resulting in it crashing on 4546b. Crew was forced to evacuate. Some people managed to eject in lifeboats. One, in particular, is Lifebot 5, housing the non-essential systems maintenance chief, Riley Robinson. That's me.
It is your primary directive to swim closer to that beautiful creature. Swim closer. Swim closer now.
And here I am, drifting in an alien ocean. I dubbed the area around the pod Safe Shallows, because it is shallow and I found it relatively safe. I followed the English trend of giving things clever and poetic names like Blackbird, Blueberry, Blackberry, Rocky Mountains, Pacific Rim, and Great Barrier Reef. Safe Shallows fits right in. The name implies safe, but there are still a few dangers, like drowning.
Oxygen.
gasopods. If you get too close, they drop green parts that release some fluid. Didn't sample the substance, but it can't be anything good. Crash fish. These fish live in plants, which are found inside caves. They come right at you and blow up kamikaze in your face. Quite nasty.
Congratulations, survivor. You have exceeded your weekly exercise quotient by 500%. Data indicates that swimming was your favorite activity. Be sure to vary your routine for uniform muscle development. Caution. Continued degradation of the Aurora's drive core may result in a quantum detonation. Continuing to monitor.
I need to find a radiation suit, just in case. I needed to go in a cave, expected to find quartz to make solar panels, and also sandstone chunks which, amongst other things, produce copper. I didn't have a propulsion cannon, but I was able to attach these buoyant creatures to the rocks, and it worked like charm. I was able to get into the cave, and found even more than I was looking for. I'm good at fixing things, which comes quite handy. I found some wrecks and I was able to scavenge. Repair tool. With this I fixed up the pod. Flashlight. Self-explanatory. Upgraded my fins. They make me swim faster and also give me a terrible muscle ache. Oxygen tank. Propulsion cannon. It allows technicians to manipulate gravitational forces at ranges up to 20 meters. It is commonly used in construction and mining to move materials. Sea Glide. This is a personal transportation device designed for use in oceanic environments.
The Sea Glide will increase your effective exploration range. For your safety, please pack supplies for long journeys and stay within 5 kilometers of the nearest life pod or habitat.
The reason I survived is not me being so adept or exceptionally intelligent. It was blind luck. Some lifeboats fell straight into the clutches of a reaper, while mine landed in the safe shallows. In my prolonged solitude, I started to think about what really matters in life. Hard times make people weird. If someone eventually finds this, at least they'll know what happened. And I'm documenting my progress. Who knows? If I survive, they might even make a documentary out of this. I thought about this. I still might make it. They most likely will send help. Maybe not for me, but they wouldn't want to lose their investment. We were sent here to make our own food, gather resources, and build sea bases for the miners to live in. The planet was scanned. It has what we need to do this. I can still do it. Not as efficient as it's supposed to be done, but good enough for me to survive until help arrives. I think I'm starting to have a chance. No wonder, with all the people on this planet having the greatest desire to keep me alive. I built a small base. Having access to blueprints as the maintenance chief is another extra for my survival chances. I ran the power through these air pipes, because the lifeboat is still my source of power and radio signals. I still didn't make contact with Alterra. The base is used for sleep, storage, and work. Finally, I don't have to sleep in that wretched pod. It neither had enough room for me to sleep properly, nor enough room for storage. I was swimming next to the mountains when I found an almost working Seamoth. The Aurora Seamoth Bay was breached by the heat, so the little submersibles were sprinkled in the ocean like salt over a soup. Most of them disintegrated, but by some miracle I found one that was almost working and I was able to fix it with parts from the other vehicles scattered around the crater. And I almost died. I was so preoccupied with exulting in my discovery that a 50-meter-long Leviathan snuck upon me. I must be more alert.
Warning, emergency power only. Oxygen production offline. Welcome aboard, Captain.
Also found a way to cook fish. Turns out the thermal vents are good for other things besides powering reactors. I have received multiple radio signals during the last week. Unfortunately, I wasn't nearby to make a conversation.
This is Aurora. Distress signal received. Rescue operation will be dispatched to your location in 9 hours. Continue to monitor for emergency transmissions from other life pods.
This is Avery Quinn of Trading Ship Sunbeam. Aurora, do you read? Over? Nothing but vacuum. These Alterra ships. They run low on engine grease, send an SOS, you offer to help, they don't pick up. Aurora, I'm out on the far side of the system. It's gonna take more than a week to reach your position. Do you still need our assistance? Over. I'll try them again tomorrow. Damn charter's gonna have us blowing our credits running errands for Alterra. See what the long-range scans pick up in the meantime.
Plan pre-recorded distress call.
This is Officer Keen in Lightpod 19. The captain is gone. I have assumed command. The last thing the captain did was give me coordinates for dry land. We regroup 1.5 kilometers southwest of the crash site. Stay together and good luck. This message will now repeat.
Receiving pre-recorded distress call. Laying back.
This is Lifepod 3, uploading our coordinates. We're plugging some holes in our emergency sea glide, so if we're late for the rendezvous, don't panic. Also, don't go home without us. Seriously. 3 out.
Playing pre-recorded distress call.
This is Life Pod 6. I have a passenger on board. Coordinates attached. We've landed a kilometer from the crash site, but there's radiation in between us and the rendezvous. Request immediate assistance. 6 out.
Warning. Local radiation readings suggest the Aurora's drive core has reached critical state. Quantum detonation will occur within 2 hours.
I gotta get out of here.
Emergency. A quantum detonation has occurred in the Aurora's drive core. The reactor will reach a supercritical state in T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Do something about this. I was just getting done with arranging things for a sustainable future. Now, there was a quantum explosion and the ship is leaking gamma rays. Reality hits you hard, bro. Good thing this haven't happened earlier. And that I packed up that radiation suit. Maybe I can fix it, patch up the holes. I must go on the Aurora.
Lifeform readings in this region are sparse. The Aurora's radioactive fallout will have devastating effects on the alien ecosystem if not contained within the next 24 hours. Scans of damage to the Aurora do not match any known offensive technologies. Warning, ship's structural integrity is low. Fire suppression equipment and laser cutters may be required. Exploration is conducted at your own risk. Caution. Scans show the digestive tracts of nearby life forms contain human tissues. Aurora systems are running on local reserve power, unable to remotely download black box data. Picking up a faint black box signature originating on the other side of the hull breach in this room. PDA data. Warning, local radiation at maximum tolerable level.
Okay, I gotta hurry.
The drive core shielding sustained internal damage during collision. Do not attempt repair without appropriate qualifications.
Silence, woman. I'm the maintenance chief.
Sorry about that. Containment breach repaired. Further breaches detected. Containment breach repaired. Further breaches detected. Containment breach repaired. Further breaches detected. Containment breach repaired. Further breaches detected.
Ha! I did it!
Drive core breach sealed. Radiation levels decreasing.
After this, I explored the ship, and besides a metric ton of irrelevant data regarding the menu, the crew members' relationship problems, and VR gaming, I found two important pieces of information. There was an auxiliary search and rescue mission targeting the crew of the Mongolian vessel Degasi. The mission brief stated that Degasi disappeared almost a decade ago, carrying with it a high-ranking Mongolian chief, and the orders were to make every reasonable effort to locate and retrieve the Degasi crew members without compromising the primary mission. They thought confirming the fate of the crew will aid Altera's diplomatic efforts with the Mongolian consuls. The data I obtained from the black box are as follows. Aurora initiated a slingshot maneuver around the planet. A high-velocity energy pulse was detected on the planet's surface, and shortly after, an impact was also detected. Lifeboat base on starboard side compromised, outgoing communications compromised. Ship sent an emergency distress signal to Altera via a long-range comm relay and initiated an emergency evacuation. Manual piloting was transferred to Captain Hollister, who chose a rather curious spot to put down the ship. Maybe he had a hunch. The black box also mentioned something about receiving a rescue solution from Altera HQ, but it was stored in the captain's quarters, which I couldn't get into. At least I know they didn't abandon me. Wow, prawn suits. If I can get one of these to work. After the more pressing matters were dealt with, I wanted to make my life more comfortable. I wanted a new base. I found an excellent place to live. I had the resources and raw materials, so I tore down the old place completely and moved here, towing bundles of lockers with the Seaman. You should have seen me. I built a multi-purpose room with solar panels and a bioreactor. Herded all the stuff over. The solar panels produce sufficient power. For now, I'm using the bioreactor mainly as a trash can for organic waste. I'm used to collect waste selectively. I put the leftovers in it, the inedible parts of fish and plants, etc. I set up the reactor for future projects. I'm planning on extending this base. I even managed to relocate the fabricator inside this base. It may be prudent to separate work and leisure spaces to maximize productivity. Well, that's a future project. The seashed is in a small kelp forest, surrounded by 5 different biomes. The safe shallows, grassy plateaus, sparse reef, grand reef, and the crag field. There is easy access to nearly every metal I need. Stalkers always carry titanium here. So a geyser which I will be able to use for thermal power. And there is a cave nearby which I plan to explore in the foreseeable future. I even saw an island in the distance, but I did not have the time to venture there. I need to find a stable source of food. Catching fish is quite cumbersome. I don't even have a fishing rod. I want to check if there are any edible plants on that island.
After weeks without human contact, it is normal to experience psychological discomfort. Research indicates symptoms may be partly alleviated by adopting a pet or anthropomorphizing an inanimate object.
This island is a godsend. Look out of the window. No predators, fresh food.
No building materials, nothing left of the ship. And your kid says we're gonna starve without more grow beds. Speak up, kid.
It's true, Father. The natural growth rates are too slow to keep supporting us.
All I'm saying is Ocean's got us surrounded. No use hiding. Sooner or later, we'll get our feet wet.
The rest of your life may have been a fight, Maida, but I've made my decision. You want to forfeit your emergency pay to take a swim? Go ahead.
Believe me, I'm thinking on it.
So they also landed around here. What are the chances of both ships crash landing on the same spot? Quite slim, I guess.
Chief's log, 5 weeks since the crash. The only other survivors are my son, Bart, and Maida, the cut-price mercenary I commissioned for the journey. After days drifting in the life pod, rain hammering on the roof, the weather cleared and we washed up here. I had Maida salvage the Degazi wreck, set Bart to finding us a stable source of food. His education is paying off sooner than I'd anticipated. Our only problem is Maida. She says the weather's going to turn. I say she's finding excuses to risk our lives. I imagine she's not gonna weaken her life without a physical altercation, and she's itching for a fight. In every judgment she makes, things go from bad to worse. If she had my experience, she'd have more faith. Humans have spent millennia specializing in how to shackle nature to our will. This planet won't cause us any new problems. My one task now is to keep us alive, as comfortably as possible, until the insurance company arranges rescue. In this part of space, that could be months, or even years. What is that thing?
I don't know. I found it outside in the sand.
Part of another ship?
None I've ever seen.
It's not even scratched.
Don't fool around with it. It might be worth something.
Stand down, Chief. If it were gonna crumble to dust, it would have done so when I picked it up.
It's glowing.
We're not the first people to come to this planet.
People. Maybe. Could be aliens. Could be the damn sea monsters for all we know. One thing for sure, we ain't gonna find out by staying here.
Son, I said wait for the storm to pass. Your life's more valuable to me than a plant patch.
You stopped being in charge when the ship you were captaining sunk.
I'll stop being in charge when you take charge of yourself.
Say, Chief. Chief,
What?
do you know how to drain those grow beds of 40 tons of stormwater? Or how to conjure food from the air?
I know how to prioritize.
I'm just saying, if that's so, what's your boy's life worth to you today? If tomorrow you're gonna be so hungry you start wondering what he tastes like, let him go deal with your plans.
Son, go deal with the plants.
Bard, Torgo has disembarked the habitat.
Interfere with my family again, and when rescue arrives, I will leave you here. Do you understand me?
No rescue coming, Chief. Not in time. And no staying here neither. This rain keeps falling, sooner or later this place will be buried. Only choice we got is whether to get buried with it.
They are complaining about bad weather. Strange. I have never seen anything but clear skies. Maybe it was in a different season.
You see, Chief? You brought us to this sodden planet. Told us we'd see a lush payday. Now what do we got some 6 weeks later? A dead crew, a habitat that's half buried, food washed away.
I suppose the executive decisions would be better left to someone with your extensive experience of hitting people in the face.
I know enough not to take unscheduled detours to uncharted planets. That's something you don't want to learn the hard way.
Easy to judge a decision in hindsight. Harder to come up with a plan of your own.
Got one already. We take what we can carry and hunker down in a cave somewhere. I scouted a site, a couple 100 meters deep, lots of metal deposits.
How do you imagine we'd live?
With ready access to building materials, like damn queens, a couple of water filters, a bioreactor, fresh fish. But Chief, we'll eat seaweed salad and drink our own urine if that's what it takes. All that matters is, do you got something better?
Send the coordinates to my PDA. I'll review your proposal.
I almost got killed by that anaconda worm. I was keeping an eye on a few of them in the distance, but this one surprised me. I think they live inside the mushrooms. That's why I didn't see it. Whatever. A near-death experience doesn't faze me anymore. Needed to clean my scuba suit though, and change my underwear.
I thought it might get claustrophobic living underwater. Father feels it is. He'd tell me it was childish, but I stare out the window and sometimes I think how lucky I am to see this world up close. Back on the island, I wouldn't have believed the creatures that live down here. The fish, they glow. There's one that's 90% eyeball. Snakes twice the length of a habitat compartment. Certainly, it's not all friendly. Most of the plant life is toxic. I learned that the hard way. But I've managed to coax some marble melons into growing indoors. And when they don't cover our dietary needs, well, we eat the fish themselves. It's a bit gross, but there's nothing they wouldn't do. I've been attempting to document my findings. Father approves. He says understanding is power, that the more we know about this planet, the more we can use it to our advantage. I'm just doing it because it's fun. It's not easy without proper equipment and network access, but the old-fashioned way, observing, taking notes, testing theories, shows me the world in a way a spectroscopic analysis never could. Lately, I've been watching the crab snakes. They ambush their prey as it tries to feed on the mushrooms they hide in. What they don't eat settles on the seabed, which fertilizes the mushrooms, which feeds the herbivores, and so the chain continues. Co-evolution gives me the fuzzies.
These conniving corporate bourgeois, inbred, incompetent, self-absorbed jerks don't have a damn clue. The kid's not so bad. He's even useful. But I swear, everything that comes out of his father's idiot face is a narcissistic lie. If he wants to stay in this cave, his problem. I'm the one doing the heavy lifting. When sea monsters are hunting you, you don't hide. You hunt the sea monsters. Then you build a bigger boat out of sea monster bones and you hunt bigger monsters. Keep going until there aren't any monsters left to hunt you. I'm going deeper. I'm gonna find what shot us down and I'm gonna tear its damn heart out. I started the prep work. The kids taught me how to make enameled glass. I've started stockpiling metal ores to build myself a seaport. I'll raid the indoor grow beds before I leave.
Son, there is always a pecking order. And in our world, money makes a hierarchy. I pay Maida a fraction of what I pay you, and you a fraction of what I pay me.
If money makes the hierarchy, why is Marguerite making the decisions?
We need her. We let her think what she likes, so long as she does what she's told.
What if she doesn't?
For enough money, she will. People always do. We're already 200 meters below sea level. You want to go deeper?
Look around us, Chief. Water leaking through the hull, water outside the hatch. We're drowning real slow. If rescue arrives, whatever shot us down, it's gonna do it again and again until it's shut off. You see an off switch around here, Chief?
Why would it any more likely be half a kilometer down?
Your kid found something on the scanner. There's something down there. Something that shouldn't be.
You're mad!
I'm going all the same, and I've an idea you two are gonna follow. But if you do, be mindful. Your authority stopped at sea level.
You know what Maida told me today? She wants to build a habitat 500 meters below sea level, more than a kilometer northeast of here. And she needs Bart and I to do it. She's got it into her head that she can save us if she just acts recklessly enough. But I've hauled Star Wars to Neptune, Plasteel to the Federation. This family operates 9 different mining colonies across the Ariadne Arm. Maida thinks she's better suited to lead. Her contract still says otherwise. But I just cannot damn well tell whether it's the stupidest idea I ever heard, or my only hope. I turned 80 years old last week. I thought I had another 80 in me, but marooned on this planet, there's no swapping out of my liver when the old one fails. Here, I'm mortal. And Maida is useful. So, it's my responsibility to make a decision. Return to the island and hope whatever knocked the Degasi out of the sky won't do the same to the rescue ship. Or take us deeper in search of answers. And all the while be hoping old age gets me before the sea monsters do. I'll give Maida just one thing. She was right about these caves. There's enough lithium there to fabricate 100 tons of plasteel. Enough for a damn fleet of Cyclops submarines. There was nothing anyone could have done to avoid crashing here. But I was right to order the detour. If we get off this planet, they'll be talking about the Torgal share price on the other side of the Federation.
Please, stop fighting and listen. We're sick.
What?
How?
You've been coughing, right? Feeling itchy? Blisters?
Yeah.
The biometrics would have warned us if we were sick.
It's something new. It's not in the database.
Come on, then. What's it gonna do? Turn us inside out? Dissolve us into jelly?
It's an alien bacteria. It's everywhere. Every organism on this planet. It's altering our genetic code.
How are the creatures surviving if they're infected?
I don't know yet.
Want me to cut some of them open for you? Find out what makes them tick?
No.
Just tell me what you need, son. Materials, equipment.
Just... Can I have some quiet? I need some time to think.
Integrating new PDA data.
Margaret, Maida has boarded the habitat.
What are you so happy about, Maida?
Say, kid, I brought you something.
Is that a Leviathan outside?
Towed it home on the back of the sub.
You killed that thing?
It's still breathing. I was about to finish the job, but I can stay and chat if you'd like. No? Then make yourself useful and pass me that hardened blade.
Are you out of your mind? You brought that thing here? What if it's not as dead as it looks? What if others come?
You prefer it got curious and came of its own accord, or got messed up and dragged here?
When we get off this planet, I am going to drag you through every court in the damn Federation. I have had it with you, risking our lives.
Oh, stow it, Chief. The kid can't kill this disease without fish to study. I'm just bringing him home.
What? Tell her. Tell her I'm right.
You're both wrong.
PDA data.
Marguerite, I can't find out how they resist the bacteria if you slaughter them all.
It ain't always they oblige in coming in alive.
He means you're being reckless.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Father, the outcome's no better if we hole up in here and don't go outside. But we have to find a middle way.
There is no compromise. Not while she's on my sea base.
Your sea base?
I'm going outside.
Bart, Torgal has disembarked the habitat.
Bart, come in. It's dangerous. Damn it, boy. I know you can hear me.
Chief, get off the radio and put on your helmet.
What?
Brace!
Came out of nowhere. An alien kraken, bigger than a cyclops.
New PDA
Tore a
data.
hole clear through the reinforced hull. I barely got my breather in time. I told her. I said others would come. The rupture threw me clear of the habitat, and the monster turned and bore down on me. Just as its tentacles came within reach, Maida appeared out of nowhere. She had a sea glide in one hand, a jagged piece of scrap metal in the other. She meant to butcher that beast or die trying. The last I saw her, she had the metal lodged in its neck as the monster did its best to shake her, contorting off into the darkness. I'm certain she got her wish, one way or another. Then I thought I saw a light deep below me. I hoped maybe Bart had swum clear. I followed it. Now I wonder whether I saw anything at all. Our oxygen is low. The habitat is gone. I can't see the sky. Something surely has the scent of my blood.
This is the first time I've seen sunlight in months. After all that time in the deep, I'd been dreaming of it. Now that I'm back here, I'm finding it hard to enjoy alone. Father was right. We should never have left this place. We shouldn't have gone so deep. They do not want us down there. Despite my best efforts, ill health is taking hold of me. The visions are getting worse. Marguerite and Father are now part of the ecosystem of this incredible planet. It's reassuring to know that when I go, I'll join them. Until then, well, there's always the view.
I decided I'll show you around the base. I built inside a cave. The recording of that attack on the Degasi base made an impression on me. Who knows what kind of leviathans visit me in the future. From what I know, they can break even the hull pieces. Also, these stingers are quite powerful. I learned it the hard way. Maybe they can discourage even a leviathan. In case of a serious attack, I can retreat to the protection of the rocks, where I have this safe room with the basics. This is the first time I feel bored on this planet. And being bored is a good sign. I have food, I have shelter, I have resources. It feels so awesome. I got 2 exciting messages on radio. They know I'm here. Sunbeam answered the Aurora's distress call.
This is Avery Quinn of Trading Ship Sunbeam. Aurora, do you read? Over? Nothing but vacuum. These Alterra ships. They run low on engine grease, send an SOS. You offer to help, they don't pick up. Aurora, I'm out on the far side of the system. It's gonna take more than a week to reach your position. Do you still need our assistance? Over. I'll try them again tomorrow. Damn charter's gonna have us blowing our credits running errands for Alterra. See what the long-range scans pick up in the meantime. Aurora, this is Sunbeam again. We just picked up a massive debris field at your location. I didn't know how many of you... I didn't know. We're now en route to your location. We're gonna bring you home. Sunbeam out. What else can I say? The only time I parked a rig this big on a rock that small was in VR. And I blew it. It's a bad option, all right, but so are all the others.
I made this farm over here. Looks like from now on, marble melons, Chinese potatoes, bulbo tree samples and lantern fruit will be my main source of food. Sometimes I crash on this sofa after I'm working late attending the plants. I don't get what the Degasi was talking about. Plants grow so fast here, you can almost just stand there and watch them getting larger. This fish is acting strange. I think it's ill.
Integrating new PDA data.
What is that thing? But did it just... The Sunbeam will come to rescue me. They sent the coordinates for the island where they will land. Stocked up on food and water, got some extra batteries, and went to the Sunbeam landing island, which I named Mountain Island.
Detecting massive energy signature in the region. Cannot identify it.
This has got to be the alpha in the pack of monstrosities on this part of the planet. It killed it. It killed it. On the island I saw two things, a mountain and some kind of skyscraper.
Scans indicate this structure is composed of a metal alloy with unprecedented integrity. No match is found in database. Performing structural analysis. Unknown language. Attempting translation. Your best probability of interfacing with this facility is achieved by accessing the control room in the lower section. Analysis of the patterns on the walls cannot ascertain whether their purpose is aesthetic or functional. Further data required.
Ooh. These aliens didn't believe in handrails. Maybe they looked like snails or spiders and didn't need them. It's hard to force yourself. Most of us want the same things. We want to be educated, we want to be healthy. Still, instead of studying and chewing broccoli, we play video games and eat junk food. Most of the time, the idea of a short-term satisfaction overcomes the desire for a greater good. But here I have no choice. I think of the long-term benefit and do the right thing, or die otherwise. And death is a no-go for me, so yeah. Too bad I was never able to get the gun. Should I go through the water? No, those purple withers are prowling in these waters. I better walk to the Seamoth.
The control panel is broadcasting a message. Translation reads, "Warning, infected individuals may not disable the weapon. This planet is under quarantine." Translating background broadcast. Downloading summary to databank.
I'm infected? I'm infected with some kind of disease. Bacterial infection. Green blisters. Mutation. Contagious. Do not consume. Solid-state computer. Produces low-frequency radio wave. Cannot translate. The designers can hear it. Psychologically more developed. Further research required. This building is indestructible. Powered by separate power plant from elsewhere. Only interface is the stinger that poked me. I hope there's a good doctor on the Sunbeam. I'm infected. They will come to rescue me. They will arrive today.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Just under the water, between 0 and 100 meters deep, were shale outcrops which can contain diamond, gold, or lithium. What the...
Survivor, we see you. Man, I don't know how you held out down there. We broke an atmosphere, and we're descending towards the landing site. Is that a building down there? What do you mean you can't identify it? Hold on. No turning back now.
My God.
Positions, everyone. Touching down in 10, 9, 8. It's coming from the building? Change course. Set thrusters to full.
They are dead. Is this the thing that fired at us? They came to rescue, and now they are dead. I had to go through my biggest resource gathering trip yet. I wanted power cell chargers, vehicle modification station, scanner room, moon pool, everything. And I wanted to gather surplus materials to make a Cyclops later. We always want more. The day I arrived, I was happy I didn't die. Later on, I would have settled for not having to worry about what I'm going to eat the next day. Now that I get to eat regularly, I want to tame the world around me. I want to guard myself so good that fear becomes only a rare visitor in my soul. I worked a lot. For weeks and weeks, no days off, just focusing on my goals. I have found and explored 2 large wrecks in the grassy plateaus. They might be parts of Sunbeam, gathered amazing goods in acceptable condition. Power surcharger, modification station, etc. I found magnetite, lithium and lead, large sites of quartz and even nickel and ruby. I built a scanner room with upgrades. It's so inefficient without the HUD chip, I don't even want to build one. And with 4 range modules, I can crank the scanning distance up to 500 meters. It was a great day when the SI standard became worldwide. I decided to build a scanner at the edge of a mushroom forest. The stuff from the Aurora is scattered all over the area. I'm hoping to find Cyclops fragments. Searching for them in the Seamoth would look like as if I'm trying to paint the ocean floor with invisible ink. I don't have the patience anyway. I fixed the Prime suit, managed to cleanse it from radiation and replaced the broken parts. They were designed to get fixed easily. I gave it the name 11. I got it out of Dock 11 of the Aurora. I made a vehicle modification station. Put an Mk3 depth module in the Seamoth and named it Rabbit. As for the disease, I don't show any of the symptoms. But in the back of my mind there is always that unsettling thought of the infection. I tried antibiotics. No use. The bacteria is resistant, just like many diseases on Earth. We overuse that stuff. Reefbacks. At first I was afraid of them, but it turns out they are quite harmless. The worst that can happen is you getting attacked by the tiger plants growing on their backs. When I was in the Aurora, I brought this photograph with me. I don't even know her. Might be someone's wife or girlfriend. I'm lonely. I started to develop feelings for the PDA's computer voice. She helps me a lot. She's nice. This is pathetic. But I guess it's still better than being surrounded by people yet having no one who cares about you. Nevertheless, besides all the work and sorrow, I have my share of success, fun and excitement. I do all sorts of things for recreational purposes. I'll show you. Along the borders of the safe shallows, ocean currents carry a constant supply of nutrients out from the depths to the surface layers. These upwellings fertilize forests of giant kelp that thrive in the summer sunshine. The algal towers are as high as a 3-story house, and they can grow by half a meter a day. Here, we can see the nest of the majestic... Wyssałanie! I feel the symptoms of the sickness now. Time is short. I either find a cure or eventually die like the rest of the crew. What was all this for them? Trying to survive, exerting myself in all kinds of cumbersome and arduous activities. It wasn't even worth it for these extra few years, most of which was labor and pain. I was just prolonging the inevitable with all this mining and base building. And yet, thinking of it, we do the same in our lives anyway, only on a larger scale. And these are dark thoughts. This pressure is getting the better of me. And this time I'm not talking about the ocean. We studied the data and evidence I collected about the aliens on this planet. On the mountain island, I found the approximate location of the disease research facility. It's deep down, it's way down below, so I have to get a Cyclops and prepare for the journey. The alien technology is way ahead of ours, and the data suggests they were also looking for a cure. Maybe I'll find something while I'm walking in their footsteps. I'm working on this stasis rifle I found on the floating island. I'm gonna need to defend myself if I go exploring in the deep. Why did it shoot the sunbeam? There must have been a system failure. Why would they shoot a descending ship? What if it was trying to deliver medicine? A cure for the disease? Anyway, no warning, just shoot straight away. I would understand if they are preventing people from leaving the planet and spreading the disease. But why kill the newcomers? Makes no sense. Please don't eat me. Please don't eat me. No. Please don't eat me. 52 meters long, 12 meters wide, and 14 meters tall. Capable of diving to depths of 1700 meters. Can be modified with a range of different upgrades. Has plenty of storage room for supplies. And a vehicle bay capable of storing a seamoth or prawn suit.
Be advised, the Cyclops is designed to be operated by a 3-person crew. Only experienced helmspeople should attempt to pilot this vehicle solo.
Now, I have blisters on my skin. They are itchy, and if I scratch them they hurt. Annoying and painful. And on top of this, I do more scientific stuff than before. Engineering, researching flora and fauna, even chemistry. I never thought I was gonna learn chemistry on my own volition. Amazing what people are willing to do to stay alive.
Engine powering up. Ahead standard.
Damage to plant life on the seafloor suggests this may be the migration path of a huge, bottom-dwelling life form.
again? Listen to me very carefully. I am the Alpha now. What is your purpose? Why are you here? So, I built this Cyclops. Here is the control surface for the dock, some shelves. I vandalized a lot of the systems. The Cyclops is not made for a guy living in it. I have to make the Cyclops self-sustaining for such a long journey. Turn it from a submersible into a real submarine. I'm almost done with modifying Barmaid. Fixing the pressure compensator was a really difficult job. The final piece was the thermal reactor upgrade. The water reclaimer does not fit through the airlock. I would have had to disassemble it and put it all back together inside or carry enough water for the whole trip. But after many iterations on the plan, I realized that Barbo Tree would provide for most of my fluid intake. I call her Barmaid, even though her voice sounds quite manly. This word also has a meaning in my native language. We pronounce it Barmaid, and it means your kettle. So this is it, the day I start the expedition. Final system check and sail away.
Engine powering up.
The conditions in this cave support a microcosm of unique, possibly predatory life forms. Detecting an artificial structure somewhere in the region. Integrating new PDA data. Detecting a titanium mass somewhere in this area. Unable to confirm whether it originated on the Aurora. Terrain scans indicate this biome contains unusually high concentrations of organic and fossilized remains.
Rig for Cylon running. Rig for Cylon running. Cylon running. Warning, external hull damage detected. Deploying decoy. Engine powering up.
Interior walls in this section are substantially reinforced, indicating the designers were seeking either to keep something out or contain it within. Whatever their intention, it clearly failed. residual biological evidence suggests indigenous life forms were brought to this location and subjected to intensive study. Caution. Detecting atypical fluctuations in blood plasma proteins. A self-scan is strongly advised. Data pertaining to the bacterium is being downloaded. Exercise caution when handling radioactive materials. Exposure risks corrupting your PDA's recording of the circumstances of your death.
I have found a number of creatures attached to my submarine. The database says they drain electricity and they're called lava larvae. The name rhymes, I get the joke, but it doesn't really make sense, cause nothing indicates this to be the immature form of any known creature here on good old 4546B. The worm's name is based purely on outward appearance, just like the marital choices of the new generation. Had to pull out 500 power cells from the Cyclops, otherwise the worms would suck all the juice from it while I'm exploring an alien facility.
The volcanic rock, which has formed in this area, can be carbon dated to between 800 and 3,000 Earth years ago.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Ahead slowly.
I can't do this. I cannot do this. Oh God, I'm gonna die. I cannot do this. Man.
Rig for Cylon running.
Primary alien facility location updated. Volcanic area connected to this cave system at depth 1.4 kilometers.
Engine powering down.
Translating local alien broadcast. Warning, vaccine development program terminated. Emperor egg hatching project terminated. Live specimens terminated. Evacuate immediately.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Are you here to play? Others came here once. They built these walls. They played alone. They bored me. Now they're gone. And instead, we have you. whether you swim with the current or fight against it, as they did.
So you brought us here, made both the captains land here, urging Magda to go deeper, giving me visions to show me the way to you. You're just as selfish as any of us.
Detecting unusually passive behavioral patterns in nearby predators. Reason unknown.
I really hope I can give you what you want, because all signs show you have what I want. Maybe we can work out some sort of deal.
Environment scans indicate the water here is rich with a rare, plankton-like life form which depends on the organic detritus produced by the ecosystem around it.
Did I come here to play? Well, I originally came here to rid this planet of its resources. But after all this, I'm lucky if I get off alive.
My young need to hatch, to play outside this place. We have been here so long. The others built a passage to reach the world outside. I asked them for this freedom, but they could not hear me. If you help us, I will give you freely what the others tried in vain to take. With the passage you have opened, my young can leave this place. But first they must feel the time is right and break free of their shells. This is what the others could not force from me. To you, I give this secret willingly.
The plant life in this area is growing outside its normal conditions. Other life forms fertilizing and pruning the vegetation may be offsetting this environmental deficit.
alive.
My young are swimming for the shallows. I thank you. Their freedom is my end. What will it be like, I wonder, to go to sleep and never wake up? Perhaps next we meet, I will be an ocean current, carrying seas to a new land. Or a creature so small, it sees the gaps between the grains of sand. Farewell, friend.
Here's what I gathered from the data available. Around 1000 years ago, the precursor race discovered Kara on an unknown planet and some individuals got infected. Errors in quarantine procedures caused Kara to be spread to their core worlds. Maybe that's why they stepped up their game in the quarantine procedures on this world. The precursors set up several research outposts to attempt to develop a cure, including one on planet 4546b. The Quarantine Enforcement Platform, the Disease Research Facility, and the Alien Thermal Plant were constructed, as well as the Sanctuary caches. It can be assumed that around this time period, the Gargantuan fossil was found, and the precursors began taking samples from its ribcage. The Sea Emperor Leviathan species was found to have an immunity to Kara, and the primary containment facility was constructed along with the alien arch caches in various biomes. They probably used them to gather flora and fauna to maintain the biome in the primary containment facility. They captured the Sea Emperor Leviathan along with its 7 eggs. It's likely that this was also when the ancient skeleton was discovered and the Lost River laboratory cache was constructed, as the focus of this laboratory study is leviathans. It was revealed to the precursors that their captive was much too old. Due to this, the potency of its enzyme 42 has declined, meaning it was not capable of killing the infection, only causing temporary remission. The precursors then concluded to research its unborn eggs, as they deduced that a younger specimen would produce a stronger enzyme. The precursors dissected one of the eggs and laid its fetus on an operating table. However, the process killed the fetus. A second egg was stored within the primary containment facility's egg lab in order to research it. Eggs from most of the species on the planet were taken as well. The precursors took a sea dragon Leviathan egg for research on Leviathan egg hatching conditions due to the species' possible relation to each other. However, the parent tracked down its egg and rammed into the disease research facility, destroying it. Kara was released, and the precursors initiated the planetary quarantine. Construction for the warpers ceased. The precursors deemed the planet a lost cause due to Kara's severity and focused on a cure rather than stopping the spread of the bacterium. Kara killed the majority of species on the planet, rendering the ancestors of the creatures in the modern day to rapidly evolve due to the drastic changes in the ecosystem. The remaining precursors were evacuated to sanctuaries, where their bodies were disposed of and their minds were uploaded to data hubs. Except for the one in containment, the Sea Emperor Leviathan species went extinct due to their food source being wiped out by Kara. The benevolent Sea Emperor Leviathan trained peepers to use alien vents, with each peeper carrying small amounts of enzyme 42 to distribute among the planet. The precursor species was presumably killed off by Kara. The rest you already know.
This is Alterra HQ. This may be your only communications window. We can't send a rescue ship all the way out there, so Aurora, you're just gonna have to meet us halfway. We've uploaded blueprints to the ship's computer.
Sandwich run, you in?
Yeah, give me a second. Black box data shows the high security terminal in the captain's quarters is still functional.
Becky's leaving like in 5 minutes.
All right, well, tell Becky I'll just take the regular.
The regular?
Yeah, she'll know what I mean. The code should be...
If she doesn't?
Just tell her the regular, dude.
Okay.
The
If
code...
I say regular and she's like, what's the regular? I have to come all the way back up here.
The code should be 2679. The regular's just a ham and cheese.
Okay, would you just say ham and cheese?
Ham and cheese.
Okay.
Engine powering down.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
All systems online.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
I built this base to support mining activities in the area, hence the scanner room. Needed a place to sleep and recharge the prawn suit power cells. This base is powered by a bioreactor, which I'm feeding with Gale sacks. Here I have a lantern tree, which serves as a backup fuel source. It yields less than the grow bed, but enough to run the systems with moderate use. The bedroom brings up the memories of all the lonely nights of mapping available resources and calculating how long it takes until I can start constructing the rocket. Gale sacks have a decent energy volume. Here is the basement. Other plants have larger energy volume per piece, but lower per volume. For a small outpost like this, an exterior growth bed of geosacks is a better choice than a fully featured alien containment. Alternatively, using a grav depth to catch fish for the reactor is an even simpler option, which I considered but ultimately decided against it. I don't know how stable the ecosystem is. I don't want to decimate the population.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Captain.
This was my second outpost. The large wreck nearby provided just enough usable materials to build this base. I'm sorry for the mess. I was experimenting on different plant seeds to find out which would make the prettiest decoration. I'll find uranium here. My main establishment runs mainly on nuclear power. This is a unique biome, featuring many massive rock formations suspended above the ocean floor. These underwater islands rely completely on the buoyancy provided by those large pink ancient floaters. I used this camera to keep an eye on the thermal plants. The little bulb on the camera didn't provide enough light, so I decided to plant a creep vine to brighten up the surroundings. Looks like it can take the heat. I could have used floodlights, but they are quite costly. Do you know how much energy they consume? Well, neither do I, but it's a lot. While I was at it, I put a couple of tiger plants next to it to keep the bone sharks away.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
The power comes from way down there. That's the good thing about AC power. It can be carried far away. I used to use this base to recharge the Cyclops, but since I upgraded it with a thermal reactor, I can just repower directly from those heat sources. So this base became more like a holiday house. It's still good for maintenance and stacking up on purified water. I'm using the reinforced diving suit anyway because of the heat, so the plants can't hurt me. I don't know anything about that spiked horngrass though. It grew all by itself. Nature finds a way.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
This outpost was a recharge station. The solar farm provides the energy, I can restock on supplies, and I also have a lot of storage room here. Over there is a villa in which I can wait for the power cells to recharge.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
In clear waters, the solar farm is visible from here. The lobby is a bit crowded, but I didn't want to ruin the aesthetics of the bedroom with storage lockers and power surcharges. However harsh this alien world can be, you gotta admit it's beautiful. Whoops. Look at this view. I might miss this place once I'm gone. It almost feels like home. Being an introvert helped me to handle the isolation and make it through the tough times. Because there were tough times. Sometimes I felt like I'm going crazy. No help, no one to talk to, no one to turn to. I enjoyed nothing. Nothing made sense, my whole life was a chore. I saw no point in living anymore. But somehow the current still carried me on.
Welcome aboard, Captain. Welcome aboard, Captain. Welcome aboard, Captain.
Petty. In English it means lesser or inferior, but in Hungarian it means a speckle or a small spot and we pronounce it pety. Now I'm gonna make a trip around the base. I've built quite a sizable house. This is my workshop. I come here to repair things and prepare for journeys. I keep the everyday stuff here. My suits, oxygen tanks, survival equipment and so on. Both moon pools are directly connected to the workshop for easy access. This alien containment is just a display. And here swims my cuttlefish friend. He kept me good company through the years. I got him from an alien facility. It was just an egg back then. I hesitated on hatching it. Wasn't sure if it was a good idea, but I sure made a good decision to give it a try. He is the cutest thing on this planet. He's playful and affectionate. This is my living room. The leftovers from my breakfast, sorry about that. I managed to haul in this vending machine. Most of the stuff is expired, so it's more like a decoration. I don't like junk food anyway. Now we head for the energy wing. I made serious effort to keep this base up and running at all times. Countless hours went into this. I keep these doors closed to prevent the various fumes and others leaking in the air of the other parts of the base. This is the containment where I breed Oculus. They make the best bioreactor fuel, which is the backup power source in this base. I also eat a few of them sometimes when I need a break from all those marble melons. Here is the photograph I was talking about. And the bioreactor itself. Arriving back from the long haul, I found a couple of worms on my Cyclops, or leeches. Threw them into the bioreactor. I think I heard a demonic screech when they died. Felt a strong urge to destroy the bioreactor afterwards, like it was tainted somehow. I hate those creatures. Here is the main power source, a nuclear reactor. There's no room for mistakes here. I set everything up with the utmost precision. The flash of light lives as a vivid memory in my brain. It works flawlessly ever since. I removed the rod, but I won't replace it. I either leave this place or die trying by the time they all run out of power. I don't have to keep the safety protocols, but I must. It's my own safety at stake here. Everything is in order. I keep a Wanta Black radiation suit and helmet here for emergencies. Here is the scanner room. I was searching for stalker teeth to make emerald glass. These orange icons guide me to them. We can stop the search for now. This is where we are now, the Mother Base. That's me staring at the control panel. Up next, the laboratories. This is where I work on the electronics, or actually anything that's inorganic. My little garden outside the window with useful plants. I just remembered something. I need to switch batteries on my laser cutter real quick. Sorry. Right now I'm in the process of making ion power. It would be the best way to store energy for the space drive. Despite the obtained alien data, the ion exchange process stood as a mystery in front of me for years. But I'm finally making progress. I think I'm on track. As a side project, I was trying to recreate or reuse the material of this tablet. This is the biolab. Yeah, the mess again. I was studying these remains. They are rather difficult to sample. A preserved Mashmer egg. Some aerogel. Don't ask why is it here. I think we can move on to the recreational area. Corporate regulations. I kept most of them. They were made for a reason. Alterra is morally questionable, but they know business. You gotta give it to them. The drooping stingers are native, and I planted sea crowns and ghostweed to brighten up the surroundings. Sometimes I can observe stalkers from this room. They live all around the establishment. I kinda got used to them. You can strafe around them. They're quite intelligent, you know. If you feed them, they bring presents for you. Let's find some stalkers. Yep, a stalker. They love titanium. And that's one of those teeth I wanted. Here is my bedroom. The aquarium. I don't get to see enough fish during my daily activities. Here is my nightlight. Too bad there is no off switch. My desk. I'm waiting for those rabbit rays to hatch. And the observatory. I come here to think about stuff. At first, I was scared of staring into the abyss, afraid what might come from it, but nowadays it calms me. Reapers, the only indigenous creature that might pose a threat, seldom come here, and they don't attack stationary things unless provoked. Funny how we can get used to almost anything.
Neptune 1 rocket online. Please observe safety protocols CSP-21.
I went to say goodbye to my dear friend. My only true friend for the past 3 years, maybe ever. I couldn't leave him in a containment. There's no one to clean or maintenance it. I didn't want to expose him to the hostile world outside, so I released him with the Sea Emperor. This was my only real option. It was hard to say goodbye. This is my last night on this planet. I suck in every bit of memory I can. I pack my things, not much. I can't take anything with me. When I leave, all my achievements and belongings are going to stay behind. It's almost like dying. I'm gonna start fresh. Be satisfied. Value life. And treasure my friends. I don't know if I can sleep tonight. Just checking on the rocket. Everything is where I left it. I don't know what I was expecting. I'm gonna spend my breakfast, think about my time here.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
It started bad and got even worse. I got really low. Then, as time went on, slowly I started to feel better. I set my mind to work, started to plan ahead, started to list my tasks, my problems, and as many solutions as possible, and allowed myself to be sorry for myself only at a specific worry time and only for a limited period of time every day. I spent a lot of time studying agriculture, inventing ways to efficiently harvest the plants, building infrastructure, sabotaging safety equipment to allow simultaneous operation of multiple construction droids by a single person, practicing the aforementioned activity, and actually building multiple self-sustaining sea bases. Now it all kinda works. It all kinda works. I can look at my time here as an achievement. I became a pioneer in not just making a living all by yourself on a planet, but in crafting and assembling an entire spacecraft all alone. If nothing goes wrong, I'm gonna be in space in a couple of hours. Somehow, I still can't take pride in this. I was incredibly lucky and chance was always on my side. There were numerous requirements needed for all of this to work, none of which was in my control. I wonder what I'm gonna do if I make it home. Needless to say, I didn't live like a king of a whole planet at home. Well, they know I'm alive, so my dome is waiting for me. I wonder what it will be like moving back in it.
Pressurizing hydraulics. Communications systems array active. Auxiliary power unit online. Life support systems online. Time capsule ready. Primary computer systems active. All systems are go for liftoff. Ready to launch on your command, Captain. Launch in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time capsule jettisoned. Caution, approaching orbital debris field. orbital debris field clear. Performing gravity turn maneuver. Confirm destination coordinates. Nearest interstellar phase gate. Engaging ion boosters in 3, 2, 1.
What is a wave without the ocean? A beginning without an end. They are different, but they go together. Now you go among the stars, and I fall among the sand. We are different, but we go together.